Imagine you're walking through a dense African rainforest. Suddenly, a 400-pound silverback gorilla steps out from behind the trees. Its chest is massive, its arms are thicker than your legs, it can lift several times its own body weight, and could probably overpower almost any human in seconds. Now here's the strange part. Despite all that power, nobody calls the gorilla the king of the jungle. When people think of the most feared animals on Earth, they picture lions, tigers, maybe even crocodiles. But gorillas? Most people see them as peaceful giants. So why is that? Why don't gorillas rule the jungle? The answer has less to do with strength and more to do with something far more important. Because in nature, power alone doesn't make you a ruler. Let's find out why. First, let's talk about just how powerful gorillas really are. A fully grown silverback gorilla can weigh over 400 pounds and possess incredible muscle density. In terms of raw strength, a gorilla is believed to be several times stronger than an average human. Its bite force is stronger than that of a lion. Its arms can snap branches, tear apart vegetation, and deliver devastating blows. If strength were the only thing that mattered, gorillas would be among the most dominant creatures on Earth. But here's the catch. Strength isn't the same as aggression, and that's where gorillas are very different from lions and tigers. Lions and tigers are predators. Their entire lives revolve around hunting, killing, and competing. Every meal they eat comes from overpowering another animal. That creates an image of danger. A lion stalking across the savannah feels intimidating because you know it's looking for prey. The same goes for a tiger. When a tiger appears, something is about to get hunted. That's the aura people talk about, the feeling that this animal is always one step away from violence. Gorillas don't have that aura, not because they're weak, because they're not predators. In fact, gorillas spend most of their day doing something surprisingly boring, eating leaves. Seriously, a gorilla's diet mainly consists of plants, stems, fruits, and leaves. They're not searching for animals to kill. They're not patrolling territories looking for fights. They're not ambushing prey. Most of the time, they're simply feeding, resting, grooming each other, and taking care of their families. That lifestyle creates a completely different reputation. People see lions as warriors. People see gorillas as guardians, and that difference matters. But there's another reason gorillas don't rule the jungle. They don't need to. Think about it. Why do predators become aggressive? Because food is limited. A lion must hunt. A tiger must compete. Failure can mean starvation. Gorillas don't face the same pressure. Their food is abundant. They can spend hours peacefully feeding on vegetation. Because they aren't competing for prey, they don't have to constantly prove dominance through violence. In a strange way, gorillas are powerful enough that they can afford to be peaceful. And that's a level of confidence many predators never get to experience. Now, that's not to say gorillas are harmless. Far from it. When a silverback feels threatened, things change quickly. You'll often see documentaries showing gorillas beating their chests. Many people think that's just for show, but it's actually a warning. It's the gorilla's way of saying, I don't want to fight, but you definitely don't want one either. A charging silverback is one of the most terrifying sights in the animal kingdom. The ground shakes, the vegetation explodes around it, and suddenly you realize that this gentle giant could become incredibly dangerous if pushed too far. The difference is that gorillas usually stop before things become deadly. Their goal is often to avoid conflict rather than start it. That's very different from a predator whose goal is to attack. There's also a psychological reason why gorillas don't feel as legendary as lions and tigers. Humans see a little bit of ourselves in them. They have expressive faces. They care for their young. They form social bonds. They mourn losses. They even display emotions that seem remarkably human. Because of that, we don't see them as monsters. We see them as relatives. A lion feels mysterious. A tiger feels untouchable. A gorilla feels familiar. And familiarity removes some of the fear. Ironically, if you placed a gorilla, a lion, and a tiger in a contest of pure physical strength, the gorilla would be far more competitive than many people imagine. But nature doesn't hand out crowns based on who can bench press the most. Nature rewards survival strategies, and gorillas evolved a completely different strategy. Instead of becoming hunters, they became peaceful giants. Instead of ruling through fear, they survived through intelligence, social bonds, and overwhelming strength that only appears when necessary. So why don't gorillas rule the jungle? Because they were never trying to. Lions and tigers built their reputation through hunting and dominance. Gorillas built theirs through restraint. They possess incredible power, yet rarely use it. They could be among the most dangerous animals on Earth, but they choose a different path. And maybe that's what makes gorillas so fascinating. Not that they're strong, but that they're strong enough to remain calm. And in the wild, that's a kind of power that doesn't always get the attention it deserves. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, which animal do you think is the most misunderstood in the world?